In the vastness of the galaxy, humans may not be the strongest or most technologically advanced species, but they possess an unrivaled trait and unparalleled capacity for vengeance and persistence. Evolving as relentless predators, they harbor an unyielding tenacity. Should you wrong them, they'll relentlessly pursue you, spanning across the stars, dedicating years to settle the score. While they may lack the ability to lift shuttles or comprehend complex mathematics, their technology is rudimentary, and their ships struggle to surpass certain speeds. Yet underestimate them at your own risk. As the alien bartender in the dimly lit dive warned a group of local toughs, including a gruff Holden, humans instill fear like no other. With their worn-out vessels and basic weaponry, they may seem unremarkable, but their capacity for retaliation is chilling. As the Holden mocked, the bartender, absent-mindedly tending to a worn patch on the bar, couldn't help but agree, fully aware of the danger of underestimating humanity. He absently scratched at the spot where his third eye once resided before catching himself and halting. Look, I understand, it's a hefty sum for this job, all right? The folks footing the bill are reputable and prompt with their payments. No need to involve the bullying guards in their schemes. But all I'm saying is, if you're set on doing it, wait until the humans clear out before causing a ruckus. They'll be long gone by tomorrow evening, after the second sun sets. It's just safer dealing with humans that way, otherwise, your life's as good as forfeit. Some of the thugs chuckled, while others scowled and muttered about avoiding this place for job postings in the future. They settled their tabs and departed. He watched them vanish into the shadows of the frontier city before pouring himself a generous serving of double-distilled almond spirits, cursing the impulsive youngsters. A figure sidled up to the bar and quietly ordered the same drink as the bartender. One thing's for certain, they won't be returning here, the individual remarked. The bartender glanced up, noticing the robe and mask concealing their features. Why not? He grumbled before emitting a sound that could have been interpreted as either subdued sarcasm or quiet despair. They're doomed. They could have waited, collected their earnings tomorrow, but they lack patience. They'll cash in their reward elsewhere, where shade work is available, and by this time next month, every last one of them will meet their end, the hooded stranger concluded. The hooded figure shrugged and lifted a portion of their mask, allowing the potent drink to course through their system. Why, though? The hooded stranger inquired. The bartender gestured to his empty eye socket, a grim reminder of a past encounter. Years ago, a human did this to me. All that's left is an ugly scar where sight once dwelled. I can't perceive ultraviolet anymore. We evolved this eye to detect a nocturnal predator on my homeworld, one that could only be seen at a specific frequency of light. And a human burned it away, he explained bitterly. It used to grant me the ability to navigate and avoid slipstream abyssal voids when engaging the FTL engine. Without it, I was one of the best long-range FTL pilots in the sector. The stranger, whether out of curiosity or mere boredom, studied the scar before taking another sip of their drink. Why would any human do that? They queried. The bartender glanced downward, a somber expression crossing his features. Because I made a mistake, he confessed, motioning for the story to continue. Back when I was involved in shade work, or frontier business, or dirt jobs, whatever you want to call it. I signed on with some truly nefarious individuals, a dark outfit known as the Crimson Star Cartel. Not just gray business like smuggling or extortion, but truly malevolent dealings. I needed the money, but that's no excuse. I convinced myself at the time that I was just a driver, merely transporting goods from one place to another. But that doesn't absolve me of the fact that what I was transporting was perilous drugs, chemical weapons, and slaves, not just from markets. He took a moment to compose himself, feeling the weight of the memories bearing down on him. The hooded stranger remained silent behind their mask, an enigmatic presence in the dimly lit bar. They'd raid small frontier colonies on outlying worlds. He continued, his voice tinged with regret. Places where the law hadn't yet reached, perhaps not even official colonies. They'd plunder everything they could get their hands on. Meanwhile, I'd sit in the spaceship, waiting for the shuttles to return with whatever or whoever they'd stolen. He paused, grappling with his conscience. I didn't like it, but I had habits to feed. I convinced myself I had a girlfriend who couldn't work because she was tending to our egg. I didn't do it, and for a while I could almost live with it, he confessed, his sigh heavy with remorse as he emptied his glass. The potent aroma of fruit-based ethanol lingered in the air, a somber reminder of distant worlds and darker deeds. Closing time loomed. But the bartender was lost in his own shadowy recollections. It all changed when they targeted a human colony, he continued, the memories stirring within him like a storm on the horizon. Sure, there was more resistance than usual, and what they looted fetched less than normal. But afterward, people associated with the group began turning up dead or vanishing without a trace. I thought perhaps someone had finally taken notice of the cartel, so I fled quickly. But I was wrong. It was the human survivors who had fled into the wilderness on that untamed world, slaves who had revolted against their masters and broken free. They were hunting down everyone involved in the raid on their colony. He shuddered, as if the memory reached into the depths of his being, awakening parts of his soul he dared not confront. They came for me eventually, he concluded, his voice a whisper laden with dread. After decades, I had followed the dismantling of the cartel, each account brutal and final. Nobody escaped the wrath of the humans. They don't relent when provoked, cannot be swayed by argument or reason. They pursue vengeance until death claims them or every wrongdoer lies dead. Eventually, they came for me. They broke down my door, neutralized my security drones, and presented me with an ultimatum: my career or my family. My mate and spawn meant more to me than any profession. If I had chosen otherwise, they might have ended me then and there. Instead, they seared out my third eye, irreparably damaging my brain. The scar tissue makes any cybernetic replacement impossible. They warned me never to cross humans again. The weary bartender began tidying up, employing a sonic dispersal emitter and the floor's built-in auto-hygiene system. The stranger pondered the tale over their drink until the bar's door was abruptly forced open. In stormed a towering Kate War Reaver, her helmet scraping against the ceiling. Two smaller male Kate warriors followed in her wake. As she reached for the bartender with her 6 arms, he instinctively reached for a plasma rifle, but it was too late. The stranger finished their drink and rose from their seat. The large female Kate remained oblivious, but her male counterparts appeared apprehensive, one visibly frightened, the other faintly hopeful. She barked demands for alcohol, threatening to tear out the bartender's throat with her teeth. Unnoticed by her, the stranger produced a peculiar metallic object from beneath their robe, a long tube with a cyclic device, a handle, and a small trigger. Looking up at the towering alien, the stranger addressed her, "Are you Tesha, daughter of Warm Tirola, who claimed her most recent male during the ritual slaughter of the Copian world?" The Beetle War Reaver turned and snarled at the stranger. "I fragging well am," she declared, "and unless you want to kiss my claws, feel my teeth in your organs, or pay me not to kill your world, frag off." The stranger nodded solemnly and pulled the trigger of their strange metallic device. A series of chemical explosions propelled metal objects with great speed into the chest of the Selenite War Reaver, followed by 5 more explosions propelling metal objects in a single direction. One struck right in the middle of the female's 4 eyes, exiting through the other side of her head, leaving her dead. One of her males fled into the night, eager to escape the wrath of the Kate War Cult's Reavers, while the other shed joyful tears in his 4 eyes. The bartender stared down at the fallen Kate, one of the galaxy's most feared warriors, baffled by the sudden turn of events. The stranger turned to the bartender, removing their hood and mask to reveal a dark-haired, dark-eyed male human. "You know why you don't cross humans," he stated calmly. "We're persistent predators. We'll pursue those who have wronged us to the ends of the galaxy and beyond to exact revenge." The male human then turned to the remaining Selenite and extended a trembling hand. The alien grasped it, pulling the human into an embrace. "Damn War Reaver stole my boyfriend," the human explained. "Took me 2 years to track her down, set up a legal bounty on her head through third parties that I could access with my bounty hunter license, find her schedule for the night, change it, and put mild poisons into her food, enough to weaken her so I could get close enough to kill her." The human looted the dead alien's body for a personal data pad and accessed it using biometrics from the still warm corpse. He then freed both his boyfriend and the other poor Kate male from the legal debt slavery they had been living in. "Babe, I can't believe the last insane cult of your people actually managed to capture you. You've got terrible luck," he remarked, while the freed alien giggled joyfully, tears of happiness streaming down his face. The human turned to the bartender. "2 glasses of leany and sweet wine, the 2501 vintage, if you've got it." "The year we met," he requested. Somewhat in shock over what had just transpired, the bartender poured out 2 glasses of the sweet wine. Thus, the human and his alien boyfriend celebrated their long-awaited reunion together.